Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news, and also sometimes beautiful sunrises. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, it's another absolutely gorgeous day out. It's shaping up to be an absolutely gorgeous day out. It's an absolutely gorgeous morning. The sun hasn't even risen yet. It's still kind of dark out. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is doing a real good job at capturing this low-ish light footage. In fact, the sun hasn't even risen over the horizon yet. So come along with me on my morning walk and let's talk some news. So first up on the docket, we're talking about a brand new Nintendo Switch emulator for Android known as Benji SC. And this one is a fork of Kenji NX, which is a fork of Ryujinx. So at the time of filming, Benji SC version 2.0.4.1F is the latest update. And they say here for new stuff, there's a stretch to full screen toggle, Amiibo support. On the home screen, press the folder button on the bottom right to load 5 Amiibo files on quick slots 1 to 5. Press the overlay button in-game and use the quick slots 1 to 5 to load the Amiibo file in-game. Furthermore here, they say time zone games are now using the Android device time zone instead of UTC. They've added the 0.75 times resolution setting. L3 and R3 support for physical controllers has been added, and even more. Now before we talk more about this, the sun is just peeking up here, so just take a look at that. There is the sunrise. The sun is here. It's going to be an amazing day, and wow, this is absolutely beautiful. So thank you for enjoying this morning with me. And furthermore, and not to distract from the video at all, but you've also got to see my view of this forest now that the sun is peeking through. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. If you're ever out in nature, I do recommend getting up first thing in the morning just to experience this beauty. But anyways, getting back to Benji SC here before I get too distracted and go on a side quest looking for fluffs. Anyways, the developer says up over on Reddit Emulation on Android, the motivation behind this was that I'm using an S25 myself, and Kenji NX is the best emulator for the Snapdragon 8 Elite. But there were some quality of life stuff missing from my day-to-day gaming sessions. They then go on to say they wanted to add those features for themselves, and it started with the shortcut functionality, and as they were doing this, lots of other features came to mind they wanted for the games they like. Now, if you're interested in this and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links will be within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. And speaking about new stuff, next up we're talking about Retro Scrap 2000. And Retro Scrap 2000 has just popped up on GitHub, and they're calling this one a modern ROM scraper for Windows, powered by screenscraper.fr. With just a few clicks, you can automatically enrich your retro game library with covers, descriptions, and metadata, perfect for Batocera, Recalbox, or Launchbox. So as for the features here, they say automatic metadata scraping for your ROM library, fetches high-quality box art and game information, keeps your digital collection clean and organized, easy search and filtering capabilities, simple and intuitive user interface, and multilingual support. And this one just got a brand new release, or a first release, up on GitHub. So at the time of filming, the latest and greatest update of Retro Scrap 2000 is version 1.0.4. And they say this is the first free version with many bug fixes. And speaking about ROMs and that kind of stuff, next up here we're talking about ROMm, or ROMm, or subscribe to Mr. Sujano. I'm not quite sure on how it's pronounced here. Anyways, this is a beautiful, powerful, self-hosted ROM manager, and ROMm just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 4.3.0 is the latest and greatest update. And they say here, and I would say this is a huge one under new features, Flashpoint Project integration. Automatic search of the Flashpoint Project database for over 180,000 plus Flash and browser-based games. On top of that, there's now How Long to Beat integration, and for those who may be unaware, How Long to Beat is a website that provides game completion times for over 84,000 plus games. There's now metadata tags and file names. There's now metadata sources status page, metadata source priority, and even more. And speaking about arguably making stuff better, next up here we're talking about Xenia Manager. For those who may not be aware, Xenia Manager is a user-friendly tool designed to simplify the use of Xenia Emulator and Xenia Canary. It streamlines game management, patch installation, and configuration all through an intuitive user face. And Xenia Manager just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming here, Xenia Manager version 3.2.0 is the latest update. And under new features here, there are some pretty big ones. Export all game shortcuts. Export all of your game shortcuts to a chosen location for easier access and management. Custom notification sounds, network interface settings, expanded launch arguments, French localization, German localization, simplified Chinese localization, and a whole bunch of bug fixes. And speaking about fun stuff, next up here we're talking about a fun announcement. I guess, fun to me anyway. We're talking about multiple arcade machine emulation on Android with MAME for Droid Current. And this is just a friendly heads up that MAME for Droid Current was just updated to version 0.281. And this brings it in line with the mainline version of MAME. And speaking about fun announcements, next up we're talking about kind of the exact opposite. And we're talking about EmuReady. And it seems as if EmuReady has hit a bit of a snag trying to get on the Google Play Store. Now, for those who may or may not be aware, EmuReady, in my opinion, is a very interesting project. I mean, it started out as a compatibility tracker to track compatibility between games and emulators with certain devices, where you can filter on the device and see what games and emulators work best with it with what settings. Anyways here, since then it's kind of transformed into a launcher where you may be able to launch games based on your device and emulator and best settings. Anyways, it's worth noting here that the EmuReady app, the launcher app, is still in development. It's nowhere near feature complete and it's still currently in beta and has just got a bit of a hitch. So they say here, it's very unlikely that the Google Play Store will approve this because of the permissions it needs to install emulators. In their eyes, EmuReady will qualify as a third-party app store. So in previous videos, we've talked about the EmuReady beta app on the Google Play Store that's paid but has the latest and greatest features of EmuReady. And then we talked about EmuReady Lite, which is the free version that has the non-beta elements to it. Anyways here, it seems the paid beta version on the Google Play Store is not necessarily going to be updated with all of the latest and greatest features. And that's because of Google Play restrictions. So based on my understanding here, EmuReady Lite, the free version of EmuReady, will continue just off the Google Play Store. And EmuReady Beta, the paid version, will continue just behind Patreon. So for people who have purchased EmuReady Beta on the Google Play Store, I don't know what this means for you. From my understanding, the developer is still trying to make everyone whole, but I just don't know how it all works out. If you're interested in learning more about it, there is a post up on Reddit Emulation on Android that I would recommend checking out. And again, like everything we talk about, link will be within the description below. And speaking about stuff on Reddit, next up we're talking about Anbernic, and this post is up over on Reddit SBC Gaming. If you're a fan of the Nintendo DS, but you wish it had dual joysticks and possibly better screens and also compatible with way more games, you might be a fan of this new Anbernic DS thing. Unfortunately here, I don't have the device price, I don't have the device name, I don't have the device specs or really anything like that. I don't know what it's compatible with, but given the fact that it's Anbernic, I'm going to assume everything probably up till at least the PlayStation. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. We'll have to wait and see moving forward, but let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I think this thing looks really, really cool. And speaking about handheld devices and stuff that looks cool, next up we're kind of talking about the exact opposite. I mean, it is still a handheld device, but well, looking cool, and I would say that's very subjective. We're talking about someone who has made an Xbox handheld and it really looks homebrew. So James' channel, which I would recommend checking out, has a brand new video here titled I Made an Original Xbox Portable. And yeah, this is definitely original. It's I don't want to say it's on WeCube 64 level, but yeah, it's probably close to WeCube 64 level. The battery life on this one is a whopping 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, in all fairness, when someone takes a frickin' saw to a controller to split it apart, I would say aesthetics are probably not the biggest focus. I would say this is much more of a function over form situation, but the function is also a little bit questionable. It does work though. And speaking about things that arguably don't look that great, next up we're talking about something that arguably might look even worse. and that is the Deus Ex Remaster. If you're excited about this one and don't necessarily have a powerful PC, you might be disappointed to hear about these PC specs. And if you've got a powerful PC, you still might be disappointed to hear about these PC specs. So Tarek over on Twitter spotted this and says, Deus Ex Remaster being ugly abomination is not even the worst part. The system requirements are insane compared to the original. The original could run on the toaster, requires 64 megabytes of RAM and 16 megabytes of VRAM. Meanwhile, for the remaster, 16 gigabytes and 2080 recommended. Are you nuts? Now for minimum specs, not even recommended, but for minimum specs, it needs at least 4 gigs of RAM and a GeForce GT 620 or a Radeon HD 8670D. But the recommended specs here, I'm just baffled. An RTX 2080 or a Radeon 6750. And 16 gigs of RAM and an Intel i7 or Ryzen 7 5800 for a freaking remaster of the original game. It's not a remake or anything. Now, in my opinion here, I'm blown away why the game would need that high of specs overall in order to work. I've got a spider web hanging down on me. Taking a look at the game based on the trailer, it doesn't seem like there was a whole lot put into it. Maybe some HD graphics and maybe some additional options, but not really a whole lot in terms of rebuilding the game from the ground up. I'm absolutely baffled. I don't know if it was the engine, I don't know if it was a lack of optimization, or what exactly is the reason it needs such high specs. If you've got an idea, let me know in the comments below. And speaking about interesting things seen on Steam, next up here we're talking about interesting, but I would argue in a much more appealing way. And we're talking about Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, The Newcomers. And SNK and Code Mystics have just dropped this on Steam out of nowhere. Now, for those who may or may not be aware, I'm a huge fan of fighting games. I'm a huge fan of Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, and this game was released back in 1998 in the arcades. And up on Steam here, I would say this is probably the best version of the game. It even has rollback netcode. It's also worth noting here, this is not just a basic version of the game that's been posted online, and it doesn't just have the basic game and rollback netcode. They've also enhanced practice mode and tournament mode, and there's a gallery mode, and there's a lobby and even more stuff. To me, this is a pretty awesome thing to see pop up on Steam, and from my understanding, SNK is not done with this stuff yet. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts of what other games you'd want to see from SNK and now Code Mystics pop up on Steam. And the price on this one is $20 overall. So it's not necessarily an $80 game or a $60 game. I would say $20 is kind of pushing it. But at the exact same time, with the additional features, it may be worth it to you depending on what kind of games you like. And speaking about kinds of games you like, next up here we're talking about a new kind of game. The AirPods have just got their first game. And this one is titled Ridepods, Race with AirPods. You steer by tilting your head. You can play for free on iPhone and iPad, but you need headphones with motion sensors. AirPods Pro, as well as 3rd and 4th generation, will work. Now, in my opinion here, I don't necessarily think a game like this is going to win Game of the Year or anything like that, but at the same time, I think this is very innovative and will make gaming a lot more accessible to a lot more people. Is it going to be for everybody? Absolutely not. Will it be for some people? Absolutely yes. And I'm curious to see if we get more games with those motion sensors and AirPods. And speaking about motion sensors, I heard some rustling in the water here, some splashing in the water. I thought it was a dog or something. It turns out it's a pack of ducks. I don't know what a gaggle of ducks. I'm not quite sure what a group of ducks is called. Anyways here, I'm just going to flip this around and you can see them splashing around in the water here. I don't know how well you can see. It's kind of hard to see them through the trees here, and this DJI does not zoom very well, but there's a whole flock of them, flock of ducks. There we go. It's still early in the morning. I haven't had coffee yet, so my brain is not working at full speed. Anyways, there's your fluffs for this video. And speaking about new games, last up here, we're talking about something that I think some people may be very excited about if they're a fan of Parasite Eve. Parasite Mutant has been announced for PS5 and PC, and this is a sci-fi horror RPG. So for key features here, they say Parasite Mutant uses ATC, Active Time Chains, which combines the popular active time battle system used in RPGs of the late 90s and a 3-segment chain system. On top of that, Parasite Mutant uses a semi-realistic anime art style and uses modern rendering techniques to give our players an HD visual experience. If you're a fan of Parasite Eve, if you've seen the trailer, let me know your thoughts about Parasite Mutant in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Or actually, there was a little bit of fluff in this. I mean, I showcased some great scenery and some actual fluffs. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about in the comments below, because we did talk about quite a bit. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.